Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at being Catholic, but mostly we're poor at making art. I'm Isaac.
And my name is Benj. And today we have an interesting request.
Yes.
As the Papal Headdresser came to us and said, Two Poor Artists, Artist General, we need a new hat designed for the future new Pope.
It's because in case you have missed the news, or, I think we even had the flag at half-mast in the United States for some reason. The Pope is dead. He has gone away, maybe to heaven, if you believe in that sort of thing. Like he could have had, like a deathbed revival kind of a thing. We're not gonna hate on the dead Pope, but
Except for his hats.
yes.
Have you seen the hats the popes have worn?
Okay, so let's get a few things straight about the Pope. The Pope claims to be, I guess, godly. People think he is anyway. That's why they're always trying to touch him and kiss him and make him kiss their babies and stuff.
Which I find odd that he regularly wears a hat.
Yeah.
Because the Bible specifically says while praying and prophesying, men should not wear hats.
They should not cover their heads.
And isn't a pope kind of always praying and prophesying? Doesn't he have a special hat that he wears when he's praying and prophesying?
Yeah, it's always confused me how the Jewish religion, why do they have yarmulkes that they wear when they pray? It's like a direct. I mean, I get the Jewish one because they're going directly against the New Testament.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what does the New Testament say? Got to do the opposite.
Yeah. But the Pope supposedly follows the New Testament.
Does he though?
But he claims to.
His hats certainly don't. Let's just give you a brief overview of the Pope.
And I'm not complaining about the act. When you picture a Pope's hat, that's not that bad. I mean, you could argue it's dumb, but it has
worse.
It has a design. But sometimes the hats these popes choose to wear.
So we need to just give you a quick overview of the different hats of the Pope. Let's start with this one. This is called the Papal Tiara. And it's not just one crown.
Well, it actually has a Latin name that I cannot pronounce.
Yeah, well, okay. So sure, it
means
just
three crowns.
Look at it. The triple crown, like the one that horses win. But apparently at some time in history, the Pope was like, bring me all the jewels and bring me the crowns of 3 kings and fuse them together into an Easter egg.
Only if 4 kings come against me will I.
Yeah, will I yield? This thing is quite the hat.
Yeah, modern popes don't even wear this because it's not humble.
No, there was a pope, not that long ago in the 60s. Okay, so popes wore this from 1143 to 1963, and then someone was like, maybe wearing 3 crowns isn't humble. Good for that pope. Good for whoever pope was like, it's really hard to justify the humility of this hat these days. With most people not owning even 1 crown. So, this hat went away. But you've got other hats that the Pope wears. You've got the traditional looking.
Yeah, the one you think of.
The mitri, the pointy.
Yeah.
Squid, it's squid shaped.
Right.
Let's just admit. Someone looked at a squid and was like, I want a hat that looks like a squid.
And that one's pretty decent. I don't
some
mind.
Of them.
I
They're
don't
all
mind.
kind of gaudy.
Right, but it's I don't mind.
I don't mean
the Pope having a hat that he's the Pope when you look at him type of hat.
Okay,
it's like a uniform.
Maybe,
it's like when you see a construction worker, just by their hat,
but there's a purpose for that hat. It's not so you identify them as a construction worker.
Well,
it's to keep their heads safe.
But it's the same thing with the pizza delivery guy. He's wearing a Papa John's hat. You're like,
why
that guy.
Pizza delivery people
that
wear
guy's
hats?
wearing the Papa John's hat.
Why do they wear hats?
So
is that why? It's not
this guy's here to bring him a pizza.
It's not like a health code thing. It's they don't want their hair falling out into your pizza box.
You look out the little thing on your door.
It's called a peephole.
Peephole, yeah. You look out the peephole, and you peep at him, and you can see from his hat Papa John's.
He's also holding Papa John's boxes, wearing a
Well,
Papa
but
John's
you might not
shirt.
be able to see that.
Your eyes
And your
migrate
little
directly
peephole.
to the top of the hat.
Well, no, like, if he's standing too close.
Well, then he needs to back up. I'm not opening the door, no matter who he is, standing that
Says
close to my
Papa
door.
John's.
Yeah, like
Or Domino's or
if I
whatever.
can smell the pizza through the door, I'll open it. You know. I will say we haven't really discussed the positive outcomes of COVID ever because there's just so few. But one of them is that pizza delivery guys will often just leave the pizza on your doorstep and run away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as long as you get to it before like a neighborhood stray dog or something, you're fine. You know, you don't have to talk to them, is my point. You don't have to do that awkward shakedown where they're like rubbing their fingers together, doing that universal sign for give me money.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, cash hasn't been used this century.
Yeah. I never knew that. I've never ordered pizza for delivery before in my life. Never.
It's awkward, man. It's awkward. I don't recommend it. I've done it like twice.
Mm-hmm.
There's always this odd moment where you're like, no, I have a piggy bank somewhere, but it's going to take me a minute. You know how hard it is to get dollar bills out of a piggy bank?
You
Man,
break
weird.
open the piggy
Yeah,
bank.
that's why people break open. Piggy banks are a terrible design.
Mm-hmm.
One day you and I are going to design better piggy banks.
Yeah.
But today we're
But
too
today
busy.
we're designing a better hat for
Better
the Pope.
Pope hat. So you've got the squid hat. But then sometimes when the Pope's head gets cold, he wears this thing.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's probably like Christmas
it's
time.
just like someone threw a Santa bag on his head.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even. This is called a camaro. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that correctly from Latin, because apparently all of his hats have to have Latin names.
Well, because he lives in Latinville.
Yeah, he does. You're right. Latinville. Okay, but there's other times where the Pope wears different hats. There's that one time where the Pope wore this thing.
Yeah, just like the weird red like cowboy hat.
It's a Saturno, named after the planet Saturn.
Like, did he like go to like if he was probably wearing that like in Spain?
I don't
Right,
don't understand it. You know, I get
that would make sense.
I get like the Pope's head is cold, throw a Santa bag on it. Like I get that sentiment, even though it's strange.
Like, but this is like the Pope needs to wrestle a bull in Spain.
Yeah, right. Like
throw the
ceremonial cowboy hat, the little one. You know, the one that barely keeps the sun out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Bright red. You know.
Yeah,
Remind him of when he was a cardinal.
so the bull goes straight for the head.
Right? Maybe there's something in that. They should really check on that person. He's not a very Pope. But other times, the Pope, you know, when he's in Mexico, he just wears a sombrero. A sombrero Pope. Just look at the beauty that is that. You know,
Yeah.
but then, okay, so like, I think maybe more often than not, what you see is just like the little cap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like going.
Like that's what he wears most time. Because for like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
If there's any Catholics in our chat or just anyone who's looked this up,
anybody who hasn't turned away after, you know.
Tell us, like, is there a reason that the Pope like always wears a hat?
Yeah, why?
Because like,
why does he always wear a hat?
Because like that seems to be directly opposed to what the Bible says.
Oh, so does praying to Mary, but you know, I digress.
Right, but it's like this is such a small thing, and plus, like the reason that you like the whole reason that men aren't supposed to wear hats is because there's nothing between us and God. Like, isn't that like what the Pope like fully believes about himself?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the Pope just wears it like a lot of Catholic things for the sake that it's tradition. You know, like,
but, like who started that tradition?
I don't know.
Like it wasn't Peter.
Do not know.
Well,
oh, I just looked it up, by the way. That triple crown one, it symbolized the triple power of the Pope, because apparently the Pope is the father of kings, the governor of the world, and the vicar of Christ.
Oh, well.
So he needed.
Wow, those are some titles,
aren't they? Though,
like, are they trying to claim that Peter was those three things?
Maybe
because he was not.
I don't remember the part where Peter's like, I can't wait to wear the 3 crowns for my 3.
But it's like Peter
titles.
like started the church, and he was like supposedly the first pope, right?
Supposedly,
in the
Catholic beliefs.
But like he was never governor
of the
anything,
world
or king of anywhere.
Yeah, but there was a pope one time that was like, you know, it'd be cool if I had 3 crowns.
Because like eventually the Pope was like king of, you know, like I mean he's essentially the king of the Vatican. Like right now, like, you know, it's like he has authority similar to a king.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I imagine that most popes just started wearing hats because, you know, Friar Tuck. You know, like, just think of Friar Tuck. Think of the unfortunate. Like, there's no way that guy shaved his head that way, right? Like, he just had a really embarrassing bald spot that then all popes are afraid of having. So, you know, like, you never see a pope's head.
Right.
It's mysterious and shrouded in hats, you know, like it's so you never actually see a pope's hat, probably because it's bald, because they're all real old.
Yeah.
So you've got to cover it up just in case. What I want to see is like a young pope, you know, like long flowing mane of hair.
Is there like a rule about?
I don't know. I don't know what any of the rules are. I assume they have
to be like a saint,
old and mildly blasphemous, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe not as mild as I'd like to believe, but you've got to look good in a hat, and that's the thing. That's why the Vatican's official headdresser, not a hairdresser, that's different.
No,
the Vatican doesn't need one of those apparently,
because they wear the hat.
They wear the hat. So you have the headdresser.
Yeah.
They came to us and were like, you know, we need a new hat for the new pope. They haven't picked the new pope yet. The old one's still on display, from my understanding. You can go look at him if you're Catholic enough.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start drawing. I'm gonna start drawing what I believe the new hat should be.
The new pope hat.
The new pope hat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with just like the head down here, just so you kind of like. Well, how? You know what? I'm gonna.
Where do you start?
Yeah. Do I start?
Do you draw a head?
It's like, do I do nose first?
Nose first hat? You're gonna put a nose on the pope hat?
Like do I draw a face?
No quicker way to know that the two poor artists designed a hat than it has a nose.
Or just like, do I just draw the hat full size?
It's a big deal, man.
I'm gonna draw.
Lots of Catholics are gonna be looking at this thing.
I think for this drawing, I'm gonna draw. Just like I'm gonna start off, just a little stick figure.
Oh, is this the new pope? Oh,
yeah. This is like potentially what the new pope might look like.
So this is going to be a very zoomed out view of the new hat.
Yes, like this is one of those hats where it's like you want it to look good.
I'm already really concerned that you decided you needed that much space for the hat.
You know what? I just realized I'm not showing what I drew.
Oh, you know.
All these people are listening to us talking about what I drew. But here's what I drew.
Yeah, look at that reveal. Way less impressive than you were even expecting. Yeah, look at all the space you've decided you need to draw this hat. Like, how big and wide?
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing about this hat.
The
one problem with the Pope's hat, right? Like, you look at that Pope's hat standing there on his head.
Yes.
And you're just thinking the whole time, it's too small.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right? Like,
totally. Pope Francis's hat was always, it's basically just a napkin that someone laid upon his bald spot.
But it's like, you're thinking, like, I want to be in the United States.
Oh.
And see the Pope's hat.
This is like a Zacchaeus situation. You know, he was, know, if you're too short.
Like, you're just like, you're in the crowd and you know the Pope's coming by, but you're like, I can't see the Pope. I wish that I could see something of the Pope.
This is going to be real big.
And like, what if the Catholic people like scatter? How will they know
what, like,
where the Pope
who
is?
to congregate to?
How will they know what direction to face?
Where is our leader? We don't know. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So he needs a hat that reaches to the heavens. You know?
Yes. No, because nothing biblically that reaches up into the heavens has ever been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. For when all the people, so they can make sure to never scatter. If they can always look upon the hat.
It's interesting.
And find their way back.
Oh, yeah.
To the hat, to the Pope.
Yes. If Benj and I's languages are suddenly confused as we design the hat, you may understand, if you know your scriptures.
So, yeah.
So you're drawing the Tower of Babel hat. That's what I. Oh, dear. Gosh. It's like he's flying 2 kites out of his head. What are those? Like.
And like, plus,
can you even imagine a piece of headwear? This is like something that would be worn at the Met Gala. You know, like when celebrities are like, "How can we dress? How can we let people know we're so out
better
of touch
than
with
them.
yeah, so out of touch with reality and better."
Yeah,
You've drawn a spork. That's all you've drawn so far.
Yeah,
Where's the Pope? Look for the spork in the sky.
it's also like he's. This isn't just gonna be a triple crown.
It's like a cake. It's like a triple cake on his head. It's like you've drawn the Pope wedding cake hat. Does the Pope marry people? I don't think so, right? Because then they'd think they're better than all the other people.
Yeah,
Be like, were you married by the Pope? I don't think so.
it's like how like Paul didn't want to like baptize people so that they wouldn't be like, I was baptized by Paul.
Yeah. What flavor is each layer bench?
That's a good idea. See, but
It's not. Well, it'd be really hard to, this is like the tower from Lord of the Rings, walking around.
this one will have like a cross.
I'm just gonna. Oh, perfect. At least it's now it's Jesus-y.
And like, there's got to be like gems.
Oh,
I think each layer has
massive.
like different gems.
yeah. Well, obviously, you can't put all your colors of gems together. That reminds me of someone else that when you looked upon him, you saw all the precious gems. It describes him as the most beautiful thing ever.
I don't know what you.
Definitely not how Satan is described. This hat. Are you gonna address the gravity issues?
I think I will.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I think he designs this after so how there's the 12 layers to the New Jerusalem that are all different gemstones. That's this.
Oh, so it has some biblical meaning.
Yeah. So
this
hat is
the New Jerusalem
hat.
Oh, see, yeah, because it needs a catchy name. That's totally what it needs.
So it's everyone calls it the New Jerusalem, and it's just different gems. Well, so there's 12 layers. You can't see all of them. It keeps going.
There's the Pope. I'm just curious. The new Pope's got to have a sturdy neck. You stick this massive jewel-encrusted 12 layers of the New Jerusalem hat on an elderly gentleman's neck, it's gonna squish him, right?
Right.
Unless you address this somehow.
Yeah, that's why.
Man, imagine seeing this walking towards you in the distance. You definitely know the Pope was on his way. What is that? Oh, it's a helicopter. Totally the kind of thing that's used. Could have used drones, but no, a full helicopter. I guess if the Pope can have the Pope Mobile, why not the Pope Chopper?
Yeah.
1 and 2.
But it's the.
Oh no.
And they're strapped. I don't know what part of the helicopter. Strapped something.
Yeah, the underside. This Pope.
They just, they're just flying around. There might even be more higher up.
You know how you see those videos of ladies who balance 4 water jugs on their head?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a requirement when they're picking the new Pope. If this is the hat that the Vatican chooses, then they'll be all right, we like everything about you, Cardinal so-and-so, but do you see that enormous hat in the corner?
Oh, it's one of
You
the-
may have noticed the helicopters on your way in. Could you please place it on your head and walk?
yeah, it's one of the miracles they have to
Oh, God.
do in order to become the Pope.
I'll admit, if the Pope balanced the skyscraper Tower of Babel hat on their head, I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but it's not the Tower of Babel. It has nothing to do with that.
Yes, why
The
would I have
New
ever thought that?
Jerusalem.
Yes, totally not bad.
Yeah. But like, yeah, the main point of this is just like, no matter what, no matter where you are in the world, you can look towards the Pope.
Does it like light up at night?
Yeah, like
it
I would
has to,
assume the
right?
gems, like just
Does he sleep in this thing, or is it just like the helicopters stay outside and just like hold it until he's ready to come back out?
it just like lands on top
can't
of
possibly-
the like the Vatican. What's the name of like the building?
The Vatican building number 1. I don't know.
Yeah, where the Pope, like, you know, so it's like when he's sleeping, it's just like on top of the building, and then he comes out and it comes and lands on his head.
Where does the Pope live? I don't know. They live probably in like a castle.
But the thing is, after the 12 layers,
Oh no, just a palace. Nothing.
oh, yeah,
Nothing.
but
The
see,
land.
it's still humble, right? Because after the 12 crowns, there's the cross, you know. So it's like, oh, Jesus is above me, you know. That's the, you know. So he's walking around the New Jerusalem on his head, and it's like, yeah, but Jesus is still above me. I might be above every other person,
Yeah.
and it would take 13
Well,
kings to come against me.
At least there's some humility in
But
there.
Jesus. Yeah.
Okay. This trying to determine which palace he lives in is tricky. It's nice.
Yeah. Well,
It's called the Apostolic Palace, and it's real humble looking.
Yes.
You know, just
I mean, all of his palaces will need.
a couple of pillars.
I mean, every building he goes into will need to have like a place to put the hat.
Oh, you're assuming this is worn indoors too. Oh.
Or it's
This
taken
looks
off
like,
before he goes indoors.
You know how so many Catholic churches have like those big spires on the top?
Mm-hmm.
This is just like they plucked one off and set it on his head. You know? And then I feel like if he goes into one of those cathedrals, they just pop it off his head and go set it on the spire at the top until he's ready to come back out.
I think it also needs just
like-
like sticks with like wheels.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally training wheels. You know how like they fly a certain flag, like when the queen is, no, I guess the queen's never home anymore, but when the king is home or something, you know, so you look at the flag and you're like,
Yeah.
the king is home, you know. You see this on a building, you're like, the Pope is in there somewhere.
Right.
You're like,
But if he's not in there, you know where he is.
oh yeah, for sure.
You just like look
Just walking
around. You know, it's
They're
like
gonna
you
have to-
just like go to Rome and you're just like, where's the Pope? Oh, he's right over there.
I wonder if the Vatican will contact us next. I mean, assuming they pick this hat, they're going to have to contact us to design a new Pope mobile with a sunroof.
Right? Yeah.
You know,
It'll be
like,
convertible.
yeah, it could totally have to be convertible.
Or maybe he'll just like grab onto the hat and the helicopters will just fly around.
Pope is going to have to be real muscly, like in the neck and the biceps. It'd be way more interesting, I'll tell you that.
Mhm. You can just like get on a unicycle and the helicopter will pull him.
I like how those wheels are not touching the ground necessarily because you haven't drawn the ground. These wheels are like,
Yeah. So what they do if he starts to lean,
I can't help
like
but
they're
think that
training wheels. They don't always touch
this
the
is
ground.
a round hat. Are there not training wheels like in 360 of them in a circle? The Pope is somewhere in there.
It's only left and right that he might
Oh,
lean.
yes, of course. You can't
Everyone
lean
knows.
any other direction.
No.
It's much easier to lean sideways than forwards or backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? No one will ever have to worry about this hat being stolen. You know, like you can't steal this Pope's hat.
No.
You can't steal.
No. Like, no.
Yeah, it's
no.
like, what are you going to steal the building?
Like what? And even if you did, it's like everyone knows
Yeah.
where you are,
Uh-huh.
who you
Yeah.
are.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, look at that guy. I wonder where he got that hat from.
I think
It wasn't the Pope.
I think what they'll really, because like here's the thing, I couldn't, if you had given me like 10 old guys and been like, which of them is the Pope? I don't know that I could have told you before like this past week or so.
But now you
Yeah,
can.
but I think it's the problem.
Yeah.
I think if anyone does take the hat, they'll just be like, that's the Pope. It's like clearly not the Pope. They're like, I don't know what the Pope looks like, but I know his hat.
Oh, yeah,
I know his
that's true.
helicopters. That guy in the hat's clearly the Pope. See, that could be a problem, right? People pretending to be the Pope just by putting on his hat.
That's true.
He's wearing like Nikes and
if someone,
shorts, but
if
he's
someone came
totally
up to me,
the Pope.
someone came up to me in this hat and was just like, I'm the Pope.
What a conversation you're having.
You need to go do this Popal errand.
See, the thing is, I think somebody...
I'd be like, I believe you're the
See,
Pope.
the thing is,
like,
I think somebody wearing this hat will never utter the words, I'm the Pope. People will just know that they're the Pope. You know, like, they won't have to speak. The hat will speak for them. Really, really connects them with God, too, you know?
yeah, I mean,
They
they're
built a
practically
hat.
touching
They
him.
built a hat all the way to God.
Yeah, practically tickling God's foot with this hat.
Just tickling his foot.
Yeah,
Ugh.
the earth is like a foot.
Oh, his footstool. And this is the feather
And this is the feather.
at the end of the footstool that tickles the toe of God.
Yeah,
I remember that verse, I think. It'll be added into all new Latin editions of the Bible.
the prophecy about the Pope's hat,
I have.
the New Jerusalem.
have
That's
such
what
hesitation.
we're calling that.
The New Jerusalem is the title you give this?
Yeah, it's the
The
name
New
of the hat.
Jerusalem hat. Man, hat. It has to be a hat. This is not what we think the New Jerusalem is going to look like. Training wheel hat, man.
But just the title, like
The
we're
type
drawing
of,
the
so
hat.
this is a type of hat. This
Yeah,
is the name of the hat.
called the New Jerusalem.
Oh my gosh.
Like everyone will call it that.
Yeah, of course they will. I think
You'll be like, oh, the Pope's wearing the New Jerusalem today.
I think with the Pope wearing this hat.
Yesterday he was wearing that cowboy hat. Today he's wearing the New Jerusalem.
No, Pope doesn't wear another hat once this one's introduced. You know, there's just every other hat so lesser. Oh dear. Yeah. There's a hat.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think I'm done drawing.
Uh-huh.
Got nothing else to add.
There's just so much wrong with this. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be picked. I'm just telling you right now. Whatever I draw, I don't even know what I'm gonna draw.
This is what would happen if like Doug Dimmadome became Pope.
Doug Dimmadome.
Founder of Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yeah. If you've never watched Fairly Odd Parents, then you don't know that reference. But you can
He
Google.
he wears a long hat.
Just go Google Doug Dimmadome, and you'll see the hat we're referring to. It's only slightly shorter than the New Jerusalem. Oh, the New Jerusalem hat. You have to go to the desktop. Yeah, save it there. In that one. In the hat folder. Woo! Yeah, it's a beautiful hat. Beautiful, understated. I think that's a word people use to describe fashion. Yeah. People will be like debating whether, but here's the thing: the hat is going to be more famous than the Pope at this point. You know, you wear this hat, people are going to forget what the Pope looks like.
Yeah, they won't need to.
They won't need to. They'll just see the hat, and then from then on, it'll just be.
And that's all you'll see. Like you'll be in a crowd.
Yeah.
You'll just be like, well, I know that's the Pope right there. He's walking.
Yeah. Nobody gets to actually get close enough to the Pope.
Yeah.
Are they going to bury him with this hat, or does it go to the next Pope?
I feel like this hat would be too hard to make a second one of.
Yeah. So they just keep.
Like,
Yeah.
like it just keeps going to
You
the.
just, they just
like you
pass
build
it
this
on.
once ever.
Yeah, the process of building the thing is going to be, international news.
Yeah. Like, how
Yeah.
would you even bury someone in it? Would it still be sticking up?
It'd just be a really long
Would it
grave.
be just, like it goes from continent to continent.
It's real, international. They use the Grand Canyon, just throw them in,
So I'm gonna fill it up.
fill it up. Okay. The Pope's hat.
What?
We asked AI what the new Pope's hat should look like, and I feel like we need to share with you what AI would do, and this is what AI would put.
I like how it at least stuck with our, ballpoint pen, white paper style.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's understated, to be sure. Definitely, they didn't get the memo about seeing it from space, but that's just too. It's just too understated,
Yeah.
It looks like a normal hat. I don't know what the bell is doing, but I'm gonna draw something better than that. What shape? When you think of the Pope, what shape comes to mind?
A squid, obviously.
Squid shape, right?
We've already somewhat determined that.
See, here's the thing. I think that a Pope's hat should be both ceremonial and functional.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. These hats.
Yeah, like my hat.
Yeah, your hat's a function.
Yeah.
It's like a.
He can't get lost in the crowd.
Yeah, no, that's totally what it serves as. It's not like a. Yep. No. Gosh. So disappointed in your hat. It's just so evil. Sorry, just making sure the pen was working. Let's see. My hat for the new Pope. See, here's the thing. I think us creating the new hat basically means we help pick the new Pope.
Oh, does it?
I mean, right? Like, they got to find a guy that'll fit your hat.
Right, I guess
they're like,
adds an extra
they're like, isn't there that cardinal that spends all of his time in the gym working out his neck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might be.
It just means every cardinal from now on has to work out their neck.
Every parish is gonna have like a gym.
They just have
all
like
they have
this...
is neck day. Neck and shoulders. Just it's gonna be. You're gonna see these priests that are just.
Yeah, it's gonna be the new thing. It's like how how like we call dumbbells for working out. When you go to the gym, you like use a dumbbell.
Yeah.
And that comes from when they used to practice ringing fake bells for working out so that they could be better at ringing the church bells.
Yeah.
And that's why we call them dumbbells. They're going to like invent a new type of workout, and you're going to start seeing it in gyms.
Just for people who one day aspire to be the Pope.
They'll be called dumb hats.
Dumb hats. I'm gonna go with the classic squid shape. Yeah. I think this is when think of it like this: when there's like a Pope Halloween costume, this is the hat.
Yeah,
no one else wears a hat like this.
No, yeah,
no one.
They're the only one.
This is
like the other hats
exclusively for the Catholic Church.
Yeah, like all the other hats are like, well, like a king wears a crown,
like round,
or like they're just a small round hat, or like that's just a cowboy hat.
Exactly. Right.
Like this is the only one that's like Pope specific.
Yeah, exactly. Where to go from here? I think.
What function? Is it like it looks pretty pointy?
I think it has to have its own halo.
Oh.
like its own. But is one halo enough for the Pope? I don't think so. We're gonna go with.
How many does he have? It's got to be either 3 or 7,
it's
right?
3, right? I'm paying homage to the triple crown of old.
Oh, okay.
And it's just got like those like sticks.
They don't even like use some fancy.
It's not like some fancy magnet technology. It's just 3 halos sticking up. What else? See, this serves for the nostalgia portion of the hat.
Right.
People will be like, "I remember when the Pope used to wear 3 crowns." And they're like, "Okay, great, Grandpa."
Now he wears 3
Now
halos.
he wears 3 halos. It's all coming full circle. And it's like a dad joke because there's circles,
Right,
and they're like, "Oh, Grandpa, why we can't even see the Pope though because it's way in the crowd, and we're way back here." And they'll be like, "If only the 2 poor artists
if only had a bigger hat."
I mean, this thing's not going to be small, but it's not going to be.
Like you'll be able to see him in a small crowd if he's wearing this.
Yeah. So maybe there'll be. You're right. That is a problem. People want to see the Pope. People travel for miles. There's like mobs and
people
get like trampled seeing the Pope.
You're not going to see the Pope in a small
evil.
crowd.
So maybe we have like a spotlight.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what a spotlight looks like though. Like a Batman. I know what Batman looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it'll just be like a.
Like, does the Pope have like a symbol? Have like a.
It's about to. Mm.
Just like a little projector on the side of the hat.
Yeah, it has like a. Yeah, what is the symbol of the Pope? Batman's got his symbol, but it'll just be like
I mean,
a cross. Yeah, some buttons.
mm-hmm.
Choo.
Just like projects a giant cross
Yeah,
up on the sky.
Yeah, so like, sure, the Pope's, the Pope might not have a gigantic helicopter suspended hat, but you'll know.
Yeah.
When he's walking down the street, like, what's that up in the clouds? It's the Pope. Yeah, it's gonna be quite something.
That's
Function, function, bench.
Yeah.
What else? What else does the Pope need at all times?
The Bible, right?
Yeah, right. So maybe we'll have like a little compartment here. Like a little door.
It'll be like one of the phylacteries or whatever they're called.
Yeah, and then he reaches up and opens the door, and there's just like a Bible in there,
Mm-hmm. The Bible door.
labeled, of course, for his convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bible door. What else does the Pope need? What does the Pope do all day? I know. He kisses a lot of things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he does. So we'll have like a, like a fishing pole type contraption.
Mm-hmm.
This has like his, it's like, those like badges that people have on their belts and they can pull them out. It's like it retracts.
Right.
That's kind of what this will do. But it'll just have his, it's not a cigarette.
Tube of chapstick.
Yeah, tube of chapstick.
He also has the keys to heaven,
Chapstick.
right?
He does, but those are in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, we're not designing the Pope's pants. Come on, man. What else though? Is it clear that he's the Pope? No? Okay.
Well, he needs to be able to accept people's money.
Yeah, that's true.
So how else are they going to be forgiven of their sin?
We'll get there. But first, those like big Hollywood lights.
Oh, yeah.
P-O. Making sure I'm spelling Pope right. Pope.
Nice.
Lights up,
It's like it's glowing.
Give it a quick outline so you can really get that this is the Pope's hat.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to mistake this for someone else's hat.
Yeah. Think about how more exciting people are going to be when the Pope is glowing.
Yeah. Like you'll just be walking out, like even if you weren't Catholic.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man. Look at the Pope.
Anybody
right
sees
there.
this cross up in the clouds, Pope. What were you saying there? You had an idea of
he needs a way to accept money.
like a cash box.
Yeah.
So out of here, he'll have
or like a little coin slot.
Yeah. No, I got a better idea.
So you can. You can't be forgiven if you don't give money to the Pope.
Exactly right. According to some, he'll just have one of those like offering bag things.
Oh.
hanging down. So it hangs down from his hat. You can just toss coins. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be hitting the Pope in the face with coins, maybe. But
Yeah.
some things are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, this is a functional Pope hat,
Yeah.
man. Like chapstick for
Very,
kissing,
very
money
functional.
collection, the Bible in
Mhm.
its place.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
He's as holy as 3 angels.
But I feel like it's just not enough, What else does the Pope need? Maybe I need to stop going on function. This is very functional now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go for style.
Oh.
Style. What's more?
What are you gonna do for style?
Let's see here.
You could borrow my idea of 12 gems.
It definitely needs like the Hope Diamond up here. Maybe one for each of the fruits of this. Oh, just some fruits of the Spirit. That's it.
Like just like fruit.
Grapes.
What fruit? What does grape represent?
Patience, obviously. And bananas
What the
represent
banana?
self-control.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Apples.
represents the original sin.
Actually, that's an orange. Yeah. No. That's an orange. We'll draw an apple over here. An apple.
So that's not a bell pepper.
It's the fruit. What other fruits are there? There's like kiwis.
I don't think I've ever seen one of the. I don't think I've ever seen
Hairy.
kiwi being represented as.
Oh, it's a hairy one.
Like watermelons. That's
watermelons.
That's a common one.
Watermelons. We've got
Pumpkins. No cherries.
pumpkins. No.
It's a fruit.
How many fruits of the Spirit are there? Maybe he doesn't have all of them. Maybe the Pope doesn't want all of the fruits of the Spirit.
There's. I think there's only like 7, right? Or 6?
I think there's
6 or
8.
7?
There's 8.
There's 8?
Or more. Okay, there's love, joy, patience, kindness. There's more than 8. Peace, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control.
Oh, yeah.
There's 9. We're
Faithfulness.
definitely too short.
Yep.
What other fruits you got?
There's peaches. There's
I heard you say pears.
pears. There's
Can't draw a peach. It's too suggestive.
oh,
Yeah, not drawing eggplants either. Just not doing it.
what
Despite
about
them
a
being
cucumber?
fruits. Cucumbers? No. Lemons.
Oh yeah, lemon. That's one of those known fruits. Although I don't know. What does lemons represent?
Which one's the sourest of the fruits of the Spirit? Probably kindness.
I don't know. I'd say it's self-control because it's the hardest.
Maybe. What's that you said? He needs more gems? I agree. Don't want the royal headdresser coming back and being like, I love it, but could we add some more gems that could pay for the poor?
Yeah.
Jesus would want more gems, they would probably tell me. And then we'd have nice theological debates about the whole hat. I think this. I think that works, right? Like, do I draw the
back of the hat?
just go on his head?
Yep. If there was a head to go on.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is it named now?
Yeah, I named my hat.
I know, this one needs a name. It's got the fruits of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got a projector.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got the
somewhere.
Bible, it's got chapstick. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's got every functional thing
Yeah.
the Pope needs.
I have no idea what to name the thing. I'm not even sure I have everything covered.
Yeah, because like other than lying to people, what does the Pope do as a
I
job?
don't really know, right? Uh, so it's basically this is like an Inspector Gadget hat, you know, like
Yeah.
if Wallace from Wallace and Gromit was to design the Pope's hat, it
Yes,
would look something like this,
it
right?
would. It would.
So I'm
And
thinking
that's something he would do.
it is, right? It
because
is.
he's English. It's a very English show.
I'm gonna call it the let's see, the Pope.
It's gonna be like the Popal. And you already did an E, so
Pope Amatic 3000
I like it.
because 3000 is the year Jesus is coming back,
Right.
according to the Pope. You know, it's an
Right.
always moving number until the Catholic Church has had enough money. You know, which is never. The Pope-O-Matic 3. Look at that thing, man. It's beautiful and functional and fruity. What more could you want? Can you see it from space? No, but it does have 3 halos.
Yeah, and it does have the projector that you can see.
Yeah, right. So
Pretty
like,
far.
it still solves
Like
that problem
It does, yeah.
that all Pope hats have. You know, and think of what the Pope could project. He could project all kinds of things with that.
Mhm.
Sure, like the Pope's signal. You know, which
Yeah.
is just like a cross.
Right.
You know, probably is like it has Jesus on the cross somehow.
Right, yeah.
You know, 'cause they're really big on you can't just have a cross. It has to be
Well, because he's
someone's got to be dying around
he's
your neck.
regularly crucified for your sins.
Uh-huh.
At all, like that's part of their theology that's wrong.
Man, there's a big part of me that wants to just scribble it out. But instead, I will sign my name. That's how most of our art works. We really hope that whoever they pick to be the next pope,
Mm-hmm.
if he sees hats like these, he refuses them.
Yeah.
But we know that's not going to happen.
He should come talk to us.
Yeah. Tell us what you...
We can help design the hat and then have a long theological debate.
Right here on Two Poor Artists and the Pope.
Yeah.
You know? They'll fly you in on your 2 helicopters. You can do it while you're doing a pull-up, you know, on them.
Yeah, on your dumb hat.
Yeah, you can come and bless us and our art.
Mm-hmm.
Won't really help, but, you know, I don't think. It's worth a go.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, if you don't think these hats are come on, we're flexible. We'll work with you.
It doesn't,
You know?
doesn't have to be the Pope.
No.
Like if you're just like a bishop,
If you're
or a cardinal,
if you're like a cardinal,
like
or
someone,
if you
someone
are
new.
if you are the Vatican's official headdresser,
Yeah.
and you know you're real, come on down. You know, like I don't think there's too many other people submitting unasked for hat designs, so like we're ahead of the curve, really.
Yep.
Man, the way I put the fruit on the hat was like there was no rhyme or reason to it. It's all over the hat.
I imagine that they're constantly moving.
Yeah, right. Like they're real.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Like the
velcroed
hat's,
on.
Like the hat's metal,
Magnets.
and they're just like magnets.
See, I'm liking this
or
idea.
it's like what's like felt?
Yeah, like velcroed on, right? Like
Yeah.
they're just
Or it's like a felt board.
Or like if when he's kissing a little baby, he can hand him one to play with.
Yeah.
You know, the Pope kisses a lot of babies, probably more than the president does, which is that's. I'd like to see some numbers on that, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like
Someone collect us the data.
that's the
Get us a spreadsheet.
that's the Instagram
comparing-
I want to follow. You know,
Like I want the popes for the last 100 years, presidents for the last 100
yeah,
years.
every kiss that's been documented.
Yeah.
You think people document that kind of thing?
Ah,
I mean,
they
they must, right?
Someone's
That's how you know
out
who's
there.
a good president and who's a good pope.
Someone's out there documenting that.
Probably, right? Really looks like the hat is like smoking a cigarette off on the side. That's why I had to label it chapstick, not cigarette smoke. Definitely not what that stands for.
We've submitted these.
Yep.
These are now submitted.
Now that the Pope is no more, they've got to pick a new one, and he's got to wear something on his head
Yep,
apparently.
something.
So why not these?
Yeah. Or alternatively, you could choose to start following the Bible.
And just
That's a choice.
not
New
wear
Pope,
a
whoever you are.
gaudy hat that could feed a small nation. You know. We digress. Yeah, it's we're not the Pope. Oh, thank the Lord for that. We'd be a great Pope. You're like, see everything we're doing? Whoo, it's over. It's we had a I wouldn't say we had a good run. We had a run. Now run to the Bible. That'd be our speech in Italian.
Yeah, we'd have to learn
that's the problem.
Latin and Italian.
They wouldn't let us be Pope without that.
Yeah.
I've got some Italian
How
blood.
dare you speak a language people actually understand? I mean, people speak Italian. That's a... But
not
basically nobody speaks Italian.
But hats, Pope hats. Boy, are we experts on those. Hope you learned something today. Hope you're not Catholic. We'll see you next time.
If you are, and you made it to the end of this video,
see you next time.
Give us a call.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, you think we hated on Catholics enough? I mean, they're not the worst. As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.